Hey, it's Saturday, the 21st of July, and I'll just talk for a bit here. I have something to review. Adam, if you see this today, I'll do it in the next video because I'm still listening to it. I want to give it a good review. I want to act like I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Show a few more records that I've obtained recently, or just some records that are sitting here. An addendum, I showed where I recently traded and found a copy of Beggar's Opera, Act 1. Couldn't help but notice a comment, because I get these regularly where people will watch and have not watched older videos of mine and just to make assumptions, which is like that I just discovered this band. No, I just finally got this album. I've had Waters of Change for a long time, 20 years or so. I also have Pathfinder. Yeah, this music isn't new to me. I'm always trying to learn about stuff and become deeper, have a deeper understanding of music, but been at this for a while. So besides the records that I've traded at Record Benders a while back, I got some clearance records at Almost Music. And since they were all either a half price or like super cheap for $2 to $4, I took a chance on this. The name of the artist is The Amazing Births. The Amazing Births. Now, the reason why I took a chance is because of the photograph, which is again, you have to kind of look at it and see, okay, what am I looking at? And, it's one of those, a lot of times when you're taking pictures and you have an accident, you'll have accidents that are kind of interesting. That's what this looks like. It looks like that's like the entrance to a house there with the porch light. Possibly. Just the way that it caught it makes it kind of surreal. And then the back picture, and then when I looked at what they're playing, when you can see what they're playing, and it was a mixture of synthesizers, electronics, guitars, and tapes. That always intrigues me. Now, the reason why I'm going on about this is because I just finished listening to this for probably the third or fourth time. This is worth finding out about. This sounds like Helden. And there's a reason why that's on my mind, because I've been listening to Helden. But as I was listening to this side in particular, with the twinkling electronics and the droning Robert Fripp-like, Helden-like guitar, I stopped and paid attention, more to ascertain, okay, is this just sounding cool for a second, or are they getting something going here? And it captivated me till the end of the side. The Amazing, I can't see, the Amazing Births. I think this, and I do think that there are a lot of records like this where people make a record, you hear nothing about it, but they really did something cool. I know there's a lot of records like this throughout the ages where completely, is not publicized or whatever, and then you find out about it. If any of you folks from The Amazing Births happen to be watching, let me know. You did a good one here. I really like this and I recommend it. This came out in 2011. That was nice. I love it when I come across stuff that I take chances. I've always done that in my life. Partially because I have not ever been able to just afford to buy exactly what I want, so I would always try to buy, cheaply and try to find a lot of stuff, but interesting. Yes, I found crap, but I found good stuff. So speaking of Helden, a couple things. First off, thank goodness for trade, okay? So besides the trade at Almost Music, at Record Benders, I set aside a small pile that I thought I could probably trade at Almost Music. because Brad at Almost Music has a different, he's looking for different stuff, and there's a lot that Randy took in trade that I knew that Almost Music would not. And what I set aside for them, I did well because they took it all and they gave me a good amount for it. And consequently, I picked up this Bureau B reissue of Heldon's very first album, Electronic Gorilla, the French band that was highly inspired by King Crimson and Robert Fripp, and created their own unique take on it. I've never owned this, but I've owned the second album, Aletheia, Heldon 2, since it came out. Interesting, I can still remember buying that, which is really odd. There's a lot of things I forget, but the cover is black and white and kind of weird, and it really looks kind of homemade, and yet that really stood out to me at the time, and I bought it brand new in the store when it came to Nebraska. Very happy to add this to the collection. It's still very, very compelling and thick with atmosphere. Heldon. So this band, The Amazing Births, do have an approach and at times sound a bit like Heldon. With that one in mind, I pulled this because I bought it a few years back when this was issued by Souffle Contenu, and it's Heldon live in Paris. There was a slight buzz about this when it was issued. There was 2 Heldon limited editions that came out on this label with cool vinyl. I also remember that there was a bit of disappointment in general. I was reading that there was disappointment in this release. Well, after listening to this again yesterday, I don't agree with that. I would say that, well, for me, there's no disappointment. If anything, the criticism is the fact that it's an audience recording, or it's a very lo-fi, muffled recording. The performance, however, is a whole nother issue. It's wonderful, and it's a rare recording, and it's intense. And this is really good. Live in Paris, 1975. If you happen to be one of those folks who kind of put this off thinking that, well, this isn't very good, doesn't sound very good, play it again. See what you think. Play it again. So I pulled my Death Grips money store, and this stuff is just crazy. I really like the sonics of it. It's just really wild and crazy, and there's a lot of textural things going on with the sound, the way the drums and the samples are used, recorded, and engineered. I forget the guy's name who's doing the rapping, but he sounds like he's out of his mind. Every now and then I listen to some of the words. Mostly it just sounds like he's out of his mind. Audio-wise, this is real interesting. I really do like what they're doing, the total picture. I imagine if I could see Death Grips live and experience the chaos live, it would I'd probably really get into it. I also have this one, The Powers That Be, and I like this too. I do. I like the total picture, and I have a Hella album. Zach Hill, the drummer, I knew about him before Death Grips, guys, okay? I have one Hella album. I don't... yeah. Okay. Heck with the phone right now. So, yeah, I really enjoyed listening to some Death Grips. I'll also say this. Again, I'm not contradicting myself. I'm a human being. I generally am not listening to music for the words. However, last night I was in the car, either stuck in traffic or something. Oh, I was waiting for some fast food. Yeah, I was late night getting some junk and stuck in line, and so I ended up having to listen to the radio. And the local black-focused, community-based radio station was playing a Childish Gambino track, not This Is America. And not only his syntax and his word flow caught me, but the absolute brilliance and cleverness of his word play it caught my attention. But I must say that I'm not going to switch tracks and start listening to music for wordplay. That's been going on for decades now. It really is the music first. But I do listen to the words, and I do care about all music. I think some people get, not some people, people get impressions, and they'll think they know about you, and they don't know. You don't know. You have an impression. And I always remember that myself about other people. I just have an impression. I don't know. I don't know your whole story. Let me just see what else I haven't shown. Okay, here's another one that I bought in trade. When this came out originally in '73, I bought it new. I'd heard about it through the English news. They were calling the band progressive. I was way into trying to find out about progressive rock at the time. So I bought Babe Ruth's second album, Amar Caballero. Now, when I got it home as a kid, I still remember this. I was a bit disappointed because I was a kid, okay? And I had this picture in my mind of what prog is supposed to be, really based on Genesis and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and yes, for the most part, even though I'd already heard stuff. But I'll admit to that. We all have templates that we fix in our minds that we work from. And this didn't fit that, so it was good. It's real Spanish and flamenco in flavor. So that threw me for a loop at first, okay? But I kept it for a long time. I did finally get rid of it. I don't know how many years I kept this, but I finally sold it. Interestingly, as time went on, it was an album that I found myself missing, because I did actually bond with the B-side, the Amar Caballero suite, Si Ton Ni Son. This band has some interesting history too. The Shacklock brothers, connections to Jethro Tull and other big important bands in history. So I'm glad I got this back. And they also had this album, Babe Ruth. I think this is their third album, Babe Ruth. Judging by the cover here, it looks like once again they're going for, they're trying to make money. Now musically, I like this album. Jenny Han, the lead vocalist, has a vocal timbre that is on the edge of being raspy and edgy and annoying. You know, it's almost like she's squealing, okay? But she's working with what she's got, and she has a lot of feeling. So she puts a lot of feeling into her singing, which at times can, like I said, be almost like a squeal. You know, just a little bit annoying. But overall, Babe Ruth, I'm glad that I have this back, and this was pretty good. Did I talk about this one? Online I did, okay. Oh, I did, okay. Okay, here's one. I believe this is a New York musician, Tim Byrne. And he plays with, when I say New York, I'm talking about the John Zorn School of Musicians. And this is jazz in that area where it's, I guess you're going to use the word avant-garde, or I consider it like contemporary New York modern jazz. I've only listened to a bit of this. I'm trying to see if I can peep the okay, Mark Dresser, Joey Barone. Joey plays with John Zorn, Hank Roberts, Herb Roberts, and all these guys are part of that school. Sanctified Dreams. This is good. Again, this is the sort of music, it's instrumental, it's jazz-based, there's some very interesting writing going on. In order to listen to this music, it's best to pay attention to it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay. I'm going to be reviewing, probably in the next video, Adam Minkoff, Till the End, My Dear, arrangements of Stravinsky. Adam sent this to me, the musician. He's a bass player. He has his own reputation. I think he was recently on tour with Dweezil Zappa in the, playing, you know, Zappa plays Zappa doing that thing. There's a bit of, actually I'm reviewing it already, but I'm going to give it a proper review after I listen to it some more. But I hear a touch of Zappa in the way he arranges here. But it's all Stravinsky. Once again, I want to encourage folks to please pick up on my CD. It's still selling, and I was thinking about trying to play one of the songs for you. I picked up my guitar this morning, wasn't feeling it. Next time I feel it, I'll make a video and play one of the songs for you here.